Hi, my name is Mike Hamilton, Director of Product Marketing at 21CT. In this screencast, I'm going to be walking you through a brief demonstration that illustrates the power and functionality of network behavioral analysis and visualization using LYNXeon. What you'll see on the screen here is two internal hosts, as indicated by blue terminals, that have communicated with each other over SMB, as indicated by this notice. I also have a dangling notice here as set up for the purposes of the demo, and I'm simply going to right-click, expand all the relationships to quickly visualize what's happening and who else is associated with this notice. You can see I have a third internal host that has also been communicating with another internal host. This is interesting behavior because as a part of the 12 Indicators of Compromise Insight Brief that 21CT recently published, internal-to-internal communication amongst endpoints is a unique behavior that there's very little reason for happening on a typical corporate network. Now that I've identified a third host, I want to quickly get a little more context on what else this particular user or host was doing at the same time. What I'll quickly see is it called out to a Russian IP address, as indicated by the RU country code, on an FTP session with username digitalw. I'm quickly going to look for the other metadata associated with that session and see that a file transfer was completed with a unique looking file name, as well as the network sensor that picked up on this scenario in the first place. Essentially what you're looking at is a visualization of the network breach from December 2013. We have a point of sale on the left, which is compromised, which is dumping scraped credit card information to this particular host, this .31 address. And then you have another compromised host, this .147, which is actually pulling the credit card information, the scraped credit card information back so that they can FTP that information out in an exfiltration maneuver. This is essentially what happened during the target breach. Now, I started from a sort of a pre-populated screen, and you may be asking yourself, how did we even get to that in the first place? The first step would be running some of the behavioral analysis and analytics that are built into LYNXeon Analyst Studio. What you're looking at is the 12 indicator of a compromise, policy violation, internal to internal traffic behavioral analysis. If I run this, what it's essentially looking for is non-servers that are talking to each other inside my network. I'll plot this to a new link explorer, and what you'll quickly see is 3 internal hosts, all of which are communicating with each other, and POS 23424 and a Win7 box and an unknown third IP address. At this point, what I would ask myself as an analyst is what else was happening, and typically the most useful source of information is a notice. So I'm going to go and do an expansion query and see all notices that are associated with any of these hosts. And this is essentially how we would have gotten to the previous screen from the beginning in where those notices came from in the first place. At this point, I would continue down the path to build out the entire visualization of that scenario and the investigation. Coming back to my built-out environment, an interesting thing I can do is now I've established the full pattern of bad behavior, is I can simply select all the things that I care about, abstract everything away, creating a search pattern so I could look for every other instance of this particular behavior, internal to internal, internal to internal, followed by internal to external with FTP exfiltration. This is the power of LYNXeon and taking a visualization, identifying a behavior, and then being able to take that behavior and identify every other place in our network. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this demonstration of the target breach visualization as well as the behavioral analysis aspect in identifying every other instance of that particular behavior.